Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Rave with Mara podcast. Today is about 2 weeks or the second week since our last episode. And I'm so sorry, it's just occurring to me that I did not write anything on the YouTube. And I apologize for that, but what happened was that I ran into a bit of a difficulty with my recording device, which was, my phone. So I had to pause for a week to figure that out. But now that we are back, I hope that going forward, we'll be able to have episodes every week, every Friday to be precise, on the YouTube by 5 p.m. and on Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, 9 a.m. every Friday. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out first. And on today's show, we are going to be focusing on two questions that were sent in by you awesome listeners. And I think that maybe we are forgetting that these people are asking questions, not demanding responses from only me, meaning that you can always provide or give responses to their questions by sending maybe a voice message or an anchor or commenting on what's it called now on YouTube. So yes, please, for every time that people send in questions, you guys can contribute or advise them, and they would definitely read your comments and see what you have to say. We'll get a jump into it when we come back from short break. Please stay tuned. Welcome back to the show. I remain your host, Maranatha Abuja. And before we get a jump into our conversation for today, I wanted to give a big shout out to parents out there. I'm not even joking. Sometimes when I come on this podcast and I say, don't give birth if you're not ready, don't try to force people to get married to you by getting pregnant and whatnot. And I'm telling you that, I had to babysit for the first time since forever. I know as a firstborn, you are almost always babysitting for your parents, right? Like your younger siblings. But this is like the first time in, I would say 10 years. Yes, since I've had to babysit a toddler. I get like, I can babysit teenagers and that's fine. But this is like, oh my God. Now I'll give you the story. First of all, my sister brought my niece here she spent just 7 days. And I'm telling you that she left 2 days ago and I'm still exhausted. Like, I'm exhausted from the sheer fact of watching this girl. She's 4 years old. Only 4. So now you can imagine when you see parents who have twins or who have triplets or the ones who just gave birth maybe 3 years ago and they have another child on the way, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, how do you guys freaking do it? How do you guys do it? Because if it's not, Susan, I'm hungry, I want to watch cartoon, I want to go outside, I'm jumping, look, I've injured my hand, blood, look, I've hit my head on the table, blood, look, my leg is paining me, my tummy is, how do you people do it? My God, it was fine. I miss her because at some point you're listening to them try to give you conversations about their best friends in school. She's in nursery 1. So she was giving me different stories. And the way the stories go are usually very funny. Sometimes she merges like two different stories together. That was fun. But the rest of the time, if it's not, I want to wee-wees, I want to poo-poo, I want to do this, I want to do that. And you guys know I work from home, so it wasn't the easiest thing I've had to do. I think it's one of the hardest things I've had to do in recent times. I don't think I got much work done with her being around. But again, shout out to you guys, parents, because it's not easy, especially if you guys are working class parents, both of your partners, and you have a toddler in the house. It's not easy at all. Now to add it with, working in the house and you have to be with this child 24/7. So yeah, you parents, I give it to you guys. You guys are going through so much. I know it's supposed to be a very good thing, but and that's why I always say that parents should always be mentally ready. Be mentally ready before you give birth, because it's not the easiest thing to do. So yeah, that's that. And on another note, One of my best friends got married last weekend, and it was one of the most amazing things I've seen in recent time. Now, we've been friends for a very long time. I think 8 years now, or 7 years, 8 or 7 years now. And unfortunately, I couldn't be there due to unforeseen circumstance, which I'm not going to be divulging on this podcast. But yeah, I couldn't be there. But oh my God, it was beautiful. One of our other friends, was able to show me clips, and as the entire thing was going on, I was following it. It was like I attended the wedding online, so to say. So it was one of the most beautiful things. And yeah, so congratulations to you, Mayowa and Adekumbi, and I wish you guys a blissful union. So our episode proper for the week, we have 2 questions for this week. The first question, person says, hi, I love what you do with your podcast. I am planning to get married before the end of the year, and I have a little problem. Is it possible to love a person but not what they do? I do not like my fiance's idea on quitting his job to start something he isn't good at. How can I tell him he sucks and we may not be able to fend off that? I am not ready to carry anybody financially. Is a little white lie allowed here? From soon to be Mrs. You guys, I don't know how I would feel if my partner is not good at something, and maybe because there's a way like you encourage your partners, right? Say that they are trying to try out something artistic. Probably they paint, because now she didn't give us context as to what exactly. Maybe the person can get better, or maybe this is something that they don't think that your partners can get better at. I don't know, but you're a bad person. Because if your partner is not good at something, you have to be able to tell them. I don't know. Maybe let me try and answer this question by putting myself in this person's shoe. So I'm a writer, right? And I know that I have written stuff that I wasn't so proud of. And I would have shown it to my partner, and he'd be like, yeah, it's good, I like it. And deep down, I'm like, I know, but with us writers or any artistic person that I know, you are your most critic. Yeah, so most of the time, when you do something, you're first going to see the error or the mistake in what you have done before any other person can even tell you. So when I wrote something one time, I thought it was trash, like absolute trash. And then I showed it to my partner, and he said, oh, this is so good. And I think it was when I started saying, no, I think there's a problem with something here. He just said, oh, actually, yeah, maybe because you're saying it now, I see it. And I think it's the same thing this lady is trying to do with this. Is this a white lie? Is a white lie allowed here or something? I don't think you should lie to your partner, especially because you guys are about to take a step into something really big. You're trying to get married, and again, I say that finance is a very big part of marriage or any relationship even. Or even living, because right now, if you're in Nigeria, you know that we are all experiencing Shaggy Pro Max as it is. Whether you have a car or you use fuel every day or you do not, one way or another, this entire fiasco that is going on in Nigeria affects every one of us. So if you're looking to get married in this Tinubu's regime before the end of the year, I don't think that you should be lying. I don't even like the idea of a little white lie even, because whatever lie you're trying to conceal, one way or another is going to jump out. And I'm always an advocate of, I'd rather you tell me that I am bad at something or like this thing doesn't look good on you than to allow me go outside and collect national disgrace. Because I feel like it's worse off if somebody who isn't your family or your close-knitted friends do not tell you something, and you go out and somebody else is pointing out something that you have asked somebody at home if you looked good in it. So I don't know. I just think this is a lot to deal with, and I understand that you're trying to be supportive, but I don't think that you should be lying. If you have been lying before, because I know we do this thing where we are trying to encourage our partners or our friends, and you say, oh yeah, this is good. But to be frank with you, if you don't tell them that they are not good at this thing, they are actually never going to improve. So I'd rather you tell me that, yo, this thing you're doing, you are not good at it. Maybe not in that exact words, but maybe say something like, stay on your job first and try to get improved on this. Because if you go cast last, both of you are going to, and this one you're saying you cannot support, can't anybody financially. I feel like you are not ready yet, to be frank. You're not ready if you are considering, let me lie to him. If he quits his job, which is what is sustaining him right now, and he goes into doing something that is not good at, then how are you guys going to? So I don't think you should lie. Maybe butter him up into improving his skill, right? But not lying. I remember asking one of my friends, Helen, she's a photographer. I asked her if she was not good at something, if she would want us to tell her. And she's like, yes, because if you don't tell me, how do I know that this thing is bad? And if it's a client's job, I'm going to give it to this client, believing that I have put in my best foot. And the person will look at it like, what is this trash? So again, I would rather somebody who is close to me tell me the truth that, yo, this thing you've done or this your book is, I don't understand it, than for me to hear from an outsider. Do you get? So I don't think soon to be Mrs. I don't think that you should tell a little white lie. If you've been lying before, explain and say that you've been trying to be supportive, but not to the point that he's now trying to quit his job. Nah, I don't think you should lie about that. If you think otherwise, please write in the comment section and let her know. Now, the second question says, okay, this is a bit long. Please help me. I have a group of friends and we've all known one another since we were babies. I am not ashamed of it, but I was a slut of the group. I mean that I'm the one that is never in a serious relationship. I have changed, or I'm trying to change to look for something more serious. And I even quit partying a lot because that's what leads me to these useless situationships in the first place. Now, my problem is none of my friends seem to believe me or even take the hints that I haven't been with anyone in the last 1 year. They think I'm pretending. Whoa. I don't know why this has been messing with me. Why can't they see me differently? Am I wrong to think they would much rather I remained unserious than get into a serious relationship? Mind you, it wasn't like they never cheated or they never had one night stands. I just never dated seriously. Should I talk to them about it, or should I just change my friends? Pretend that they see. Okay. So I've always been a firm believer of nobody can know you more than you know yourself. I think that even our parents delude themselves with the idea of, I gave birth to you, I know what you're capable of doing. Which maybe to a large extent they do know, right? But I don't think, again, anybody can know you more than you know yourself, except you are lying to yourself. First of all, I don't know if maybe you're not communicating with them in a way that they know you're serious. I don't even know if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. I have had friends who, I think I'm going too far. So there were certain behavior or characteristics that have been known for in previous years. And over time, I have switched up a little. So I am the logical thinker in most of my friendship groups. Yes, I am the one who is always maybe removing emotion and let's think about this thing critically. And over the years, my friends have had to call me, oh, you're heartless, you don't have emotions, oh, why are you being mean? You know, because sometimes when you tell people the truth, they are maybe not ready to accept the truth. Over the years, I have tried, all through my uni years, I've tried to become a lot more diplomatic in trying to convey what I think is the truth to people so that they'll be able to accept it a lot better. You know, when I was younger, I didn't think it was necessary. But as I got older, I began to realize, well, maybe there is always a better way to deliver some kind of situations or news to the person. And I think it is okay I don't think it is absolutely okay to change who you are or want to change who you are, because that's how we grow. That is what growing literally means, right? So I don't think that you are wrong for wanting to change. But I think that maybe your friendship dynamic actually needs somebody to always take the blame for the other part, for being the party goer, or for being the, of the group. I don't think it's a bad thing to be in a partying era. I think we all had a partying era, and let's all not form pretense. All of us were at one point never wanting something serious. We're all, oh, okay, let's see where this leads. Let's see where this leads. I'm not looking for something serious. Nobody is going to come out and say, oh, maybe, because I do have a male friend who all through uni, he refused to date anybody because he says, I want to date seriously for marriage, which is what people should be doing, But the lot of us, we were all partying, we were all hanging out with people. We have all been in situationships. So I don't actually think that you're wrong for wanting to change or looking for something more stable now. Because again, you genuinely want to change who you are. And if your friends are not getting the memo, then maybe I don't want to say that maybe leave them, but maybe I would say that you should seriously communicate with them and let them know that this is where you are, so that it doesn't come off in conversations again and again, especially when you're out and they maybe think that, oh, have more shots. And you are like, no, I think I'm done for the night. They're looking at you like maybe you're trying to form what you're not. I don't think that you should allow anybody to do that to you. And I get that it's messing with you right now. You are not okay, because we all want validation. Not validation in the sense of, oh, if you don't look at me this way, I am not. I think that it is a terrible thing to be in a circle of friends where they don't see you or seem to accept you for who or what you say you are. I think it's a very bad thing to do. It's going to mess with anybody mentally. But they may see you differently. They may not see you differently. But what you have control over is not letting them pressure you into going back to who you were or pretending with them now, because like you said, you've changed for over a year and they still refer to you as, all of those things. But I would advise that you should definitely have a conversation again with them now. Maybe call everybody, like have a sit down with everybody and tell them, yo, yes, I was this person a couple of years ago, and it's okay for you guys to not want to change your mindset, and that's your business. But this is what I am now. And if you can't accept me for that, then maybe you guys can, keep each other at arm's length. Because again, we all want our close circle of friends to see us for who we are. I don't want to have to explain to outsiders that, yo, I am no longer this person, and also still have to come back to in-house, like my own home now, and still have to explain or constantly be explaining myself. So yes, I think maybe don't be too hasty to changing them, because change takes some people a while to get accustomed to. Do not change your friends yet, but I would advise that you have a sit down with them and let them know that genuinely this is what you're looking for now. You're no longer in that stage or era of your life. And if they still refuse to acknowledge you, then maybe you do need new circle of friends, because they would say that 20 friends can not play for 20 years. Something like that. Yeah, 20 friends cannot play for 20 years. I've had friends growing up who we no longer talk as much. Not because we fought or anything, but because they cannot understand who I am now and who I was then. And I still have conversations around, I think we had a reunion. Oh yes, something I wanted to even talk about. Yes, that thing where everybody is feeling weird to go to a reunion. Let's not pretend like everybody's fine with a reunion. Now with a reunion, what happens is you guys haven't seen yourself in a while. Now, in that while, some of your classmates or your group of friends have good jobs. Some have relocated, some are married, some are doing amazingly in their businesses and whatnot. And then there is you who is broke, who is looking for a job, or who is not married, and who is, quite frankly, just in the trenches. So there's always that whole, do I want to go to this reunion? How will my friends see me? Maybe back in the days when you were in secondary school, your parents were well off. So you guys were okay, you people were friends. And I know that with choosing group of friends, there are times where subconsciously you become friends with each other because both of you, like you guys are from the same financial or economic status. Is normal. It's subconscious sometimes. Sometimes it's not subconscious. Or sometimes you guys become friends because you are both brainiacs. Both of you are smart, right? And over the years, you guys now get to see, and things are no longer the way it seems. And now nobody can find the line between who you were then and who you are now. It's always weird. It's always crazy. So now there was this reunion that was coming up. And I was part of the organizing committee. And I know that previously there was one reunion we're trying to do. I can't remember what that was for anymore. That was like maybe when I was still in uni, maybe 200 level in uni. And I remember them adding me to a committee group. Before I got added to the committee group, everybody was all saying stuff like, I don't want to come. The people that are clamoring for this reunion are people that have made it, or people that already gotten admission. I think that was for my junior secondary school, my primary school, one of those anyways. And I remember even me, I was in 200 level, and some of the people I was in junior secondary school with had already, I think they were in their final year, or some had already graduated or something. And I was in 200 level. And I remember saying to myself at that time too that, maybe because the person that called me was saying, anybody that's going for a reunion now is actually doing it because they want to come and show off. And I was like, I don't know. But I also felt, I think it crossed my mind too, like, wait though, is it because they have graduated, they have a job now and whatnot, that's why they're asking for a reunion? And then when I got added to the planning committee, I ended up not going because apparently it was in Abuja and I was back in school. So I wasn't around, but I helped them to coordinate and whatnot. Now, another reunion we're trying to plan, which we already had in December, right? And I remember like everything all of them said was valid, like completely valid. Because truthfully, no matter how much we think that you're not jealous, in quotes, or you don't compare yourself with another person, when stuff like reunion comes up, it makes you think about how you are perceived as a human being. And I remember that one of my friends in particular, she's not in the country, she called me and we're speaking about it, and she said, I remember saying, I don't even know what to wear. And she says, the good thing is you are part of the planning committee, so it doesn't even really matter. And I said, wait, if I wasn't a part of the planning committee, would I not also be feeling some type of way? Like saying, I don't have a car right now, or my job is so and so, or I haven't changed so much, I don't have so much money. Would I also be feeling that way? I don't know. We finally had the reunion when, before then we hadn't seen ourselves for years, like 10 years. And I had met with the planning committee. We're running around trying to get the ball rolling and whatnot. And on the day of the reunion, because I was part of the planning committee, it meant that I had to speak individually to some persons that I knew that were going to be available. So by the time we got there, before the party started, we started to have conversations. And again, people would dress gorgeously, beautifully. Some persons came with their wives, and, some people drove, and, I started to have conversation with individuals, and people started to open up. It was in conversation with them that I realized, oh, wait, this one was jobless. But by looking at this person, you wouldn't even know that this person is jobless. The other person also had issues with admissions. One was just serving, and this is like 10 years reunion where you expect that ordinarily, under normal circumstances, all things being equal, everybody should have graduated from the university for like a couple of years and, have a good paying job and, be trying to settle into the lives that they want for themselves. And it turns out that, the insecurity that you have, a lot of people have that same insecurity. But the difference is they are showing up in spite of those insecurities. Do you understand what I mean? So I get that, like, sometimes we look at other people's lives and we think everybody is doing fine or everybody is well off. Oh, I don't want to be in certain spaces because I don't feel worthy. Or, this person will look at me a different kind of way if I start to say that I'm no longer this person, I am this person. and all of that, yada, yada, yada. But what I'm saying is, it is okay to make them see you for who they've always known you as, or try to draw a line between who you are now and what you stand for or what you wear and all that rubbish. And I remember somebody coming up to me and saying something like, when we were in school, I knew that like you were smart and whatnot, but I didn't think that, actually, two people now, I didn't think that you were extremely vocal. Which sounded so strange to me because, you guys, I was the president of press club. So if I wasn't vocal, how the hell was I there? And I have gone out for competitions, for debates. And now this person is trying to tell me that you weren't so vocal in school. Now, when he said that to me, I chuckled. I chuckled because I was like, I don't think you saw me for who I was. Or maybe we didn't have enough interactions for you to understand my person. Somebody again from my uni, I was in the Senate I did a bit of politics in school. So I remember one time, about 2 years or 3 years ago, somebody had messaged me out of the blues. I never knew he was even on my contacts list. And he messaged me and said, I like what you're doing. I wish you were like this when we're in uni learning. And I said, I'm sorry, I don't understand what you mean. And he said, there were several cases of rape while we were in school. I don't think I ever saw you at any of the... And I'm like, are you shitting me right now? Like, is this for real? So I get that, like, for different points of your life, people are always going to assume different things about you that are not even true. Maybe some may be true, or maybe they have seen you act out a certain way, but they try so desperately to still fit you into that peg or into that hole. It is not who you are. It means it is not who you are. And I kept laughing because I just said laugh out loud. I've had people come to me at different points telling me different things. I know somebody who had even said to me, oh, I heard you talking about the Bible one time. Are you spiritual? You don't look like the spiritual type. And I'm like, okay. Because again, I tell people, nobody can know you more than you know yourself. And that is the freaking truth. So if you have decided that you want to change certain things about yourself, please go ahead and change it. Anybody who doesn't want to come on board to the new you or who you are, then they should get off the bus. Because again, 20 friends can play for 20 years, but they don't have to live for that entire 20 years. They don't have to be okay. They don't have to be in each other's business. So please, I think that as a society, we need to start accepting people for who they are now and not who they once were. And if they tell you that, I've always been this person, it is not your place to argue it out with them if they wear that thing they said they wear or not, because you maybe had contact with this person a few times or a couple of times. You were on the same committee. It doesn't mean that you know how their day-to-day lives have been going. Like this babe now, she said she has changed for a complete year, but her friends are not even noticing or accepting that she has changed. So yes, maybe have a sit-down conversation with them, and if they still choose not to see you for who you are, babe, friendship, I know that adult friendships can be so difficult, which maybe I'll talk about in our next episode. It can be so difficult. Sometimes I'm here and I'm like, I know I have friends, but there are certain things I'm going through that I have to think about which of my friends would understand or come through for me in this situation. So it is difficult, but I would rather you stay alone and try to look for people who would accept you or see you for the changed person that you are now, than to stick with people that you've known for a very long time and it's messing with you mentally. We don't need that in our lives. We are already suffering in Nigeria. Tinubu want to kill us. So as you're suffering or striving to survive, you shouldn't be striving to explain to your friends who you are now. If they can't see the change for themselves, then maybe they should actually take the L. So yeah, this is where we end the episode for this week. If you are not yet subscribed, please, this is the time that you need to subscribe. Please, I'm begging. Okay, I'm not shouting. I'm not shouting, I'm begging. Please subscribe. Please share the content, repost, comment. If you think otherwise from what I have said or the advice I have given to these women, they're both women, then please write in, let them know what you think. And yeah, so see you next week. Bye bye.